1-0 count, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Darryl Strawberry.
You have an interesting situation here. First and second, 1 out. 3-2 count. Do you send the runners? Strawberry led the Mets in strikeouts this year. I doubt that the runners will be moving. We'll see.
Oohs and ahs over that a little bit. And the count remains 3-2. Walked him. The bases are loaded. The tying run. Dave Smith, after Hernandez double, comes in to walk Carter.
Even on a less than average hit ball, they will probably have a chance to turn the double play on Ray Knight if he puts it.
Knight beat. Strike 1. Danny Heath on deck, swinging a bat for the Mets. Anderson now. A double play right here would be the big play for Houston. Strikes on Ray Knight.
Bass properly shallow in right. There you see Kevin Bass. Hatcher deep in center and Cruz deep in left.
Two-strike pitch. Outside. 1-2.
Lanier's going out to the mound, and I'll guarantee it, if he argues about a ball or a strike pitch right here, then he's out. Right now, this is Lanier's baiting Brocklander.
Kahn is upset over it. Dickie Kahn now being pushed away from the pitching mound, back to his position as Brocklander in conversation. Balls and strikes are not a subject of debate.
I think how. And it appeared to be just off the plate. It looked like it was a ball. But I'll tell you, if I'm Ray Knight right now, I'm swinging at anything. Because if Brocklander is. And he may call anything that Smith throws up there a strike right now. So if you're Ray Knight, you're up there hacking.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, tying run, third base, pop. And that's pop foul straight back.
I'm telling you.
Oh, me. Every game. That forkball was pretty And 2. High fly ball. Gap, right center. Hatcher goes over. Makes no. It is Bass cutting it off. Tied on the sacrifice fly deep to right center by Ray Knight.
Do you stay calm here? Well, you don't. You don't. Ray Knight on the high fastball drives Bass and Hatcher back. It's Bass that makes the play. Carter going to third base. Strawberry going to second.
Backman has now picked up the bat and is swinging it and coming to the plate. The go-ahead run now has moved over to third base in Gary Carter.
Decision in this game.
He had absolutely shut him down.
Until the top of this inning. Wilson singled. Mitchell was an out to third. Then Hernandez doubled. And they're going to walk Backman.
I'll tell you, this is an interesting call on the part of Howland. Strawberry, and now by intentionally walking Backman, he's loading the bases and no place to put Danny Heath, the pinch hitter. Smith has been wild.
So Smith coming on in relief of Nepper. As you said, walk Carter, walk Strawberry. Now they've walked Backman. In the top of the ninth inning. And Danny Heath is at the plate. 1 for 3 in the championship series. A former Astro who was here in 1980 in the fight against the Phillies. And the first pitch in there for a strike. Strawberry is down at second. And Backman at first. But Heath is the man. 2 strikes. That was a fork ball. Bullpen. And we'll see him in the bottom of the ninth inning. Outside.
The fork ball to be effective. Chance of a wild pitch or a pass ball.
We went 12 yesterday in New York. And Smith may be having a little trouble with it. Hasn't worked much in this series. 2-2. 3-2. There is no.
Telling Strawberry to make sure he pitches. Smith will work from the stretch to hold the runners just in case of a long single.
Foul ball.
That was a fork ball, too. Of all
Yes,
things, a 3-2 fork ball with the bases loaded, 2 out.
Of course, Heath's a good fastball hitter.
Yep.
Three ball game. Go ahead, Ron Carter at third. 3-2 count for Heath. High pop-up. Coming back out of play.
And that was ball 4.
Yes, it was. High.
Anything close, you do not. Here's the fastball from Dave Smith. Too high, but
You gotta
be hacking. That's right. That's right.
Time called. Ball loose.
Back of the plate.
He started this whole thing with a triple. Off the hands, fisted back foul. Gary Carter cannot stand still at third base, and I don't blame him. Bases loaded, 3-2 count on the hitter Heath, and 2 out in the out. The Mets send 9 hitters to the plate in the top of the 9th inning. They score
3 runs. They lead 3. The score
is tied 3-3, and we'll be back after this message from your local station.
Crimson Tide ranked second in the nation. They'll put their undefeated record on the line against Tennessee. Or a Southwest Conference showdown as Baylor takes on Texas A&M. Coverage begins with college football today.
Hi, I'm Dave Jarrett, along with the J Team from 103.
Be listening tomorrow morning at 7:10 to win this brand new George Coffey Mercury Sable.
That's tomorrow morning at 7:10 to win another brand new car.
A bunch of cars from 103.
Good afternoon.
Bob Lanier came out. Dave Smith said something to Brocklander. They exchanged words. Lanier came out, and this is on tape, came out to talk to Brocklander. It was an animated conversation, but Lanier eventually went back to the dugout. Now, the changes
for the New York Mets. Roger McDowell is
on the mound. That's the series. Second baseman is Wally Backman. The shortstop is Kevin Elster. Mookie Wilson moves to left field, and Lynn Dykstra goes into center field. And McDowell pitches to Glenn Davis. Then Kevin. So there are the changes in the New York defensive alignment. Bottom of the 9th inning, Glenn Davis, who had 31 home runs on the season, 17 here. It's a high bouncer. Ray Knight had him played deep at third and throws him out. Starting the line.
A guy like Roger McDowell pitching at pull hitter like Glenn Davis, you guard the line, and the long throw gets Davis easily.
Now it is Kevin Bass. Three for Houston in the bottom. The top of the 9th. All low.
Remember, Roger McDowell 0-3 against the Houston Astros this year. 0-3.
Sinker ball pitch.
Sinker slider. Outstanding sinker.
1-1 to Bass. The shortstop Elster. And Bass is out. 2 down.
Think about Kevin Elster, who played in Jackson, Mississippi this year. Called up right before the 1st of September to qualify for the playoffs. Young man thrown right into the heat of battle. Man.
McDowell pitches to Jose Cruz, low and away. 2 down and nobody on in the bottom of the 9th inning in a 3-3 ball game. Jose trying to put it in the seats, and it's 1-1.
Well, if you're thinking that way, McDowell gave up 4 home runs this year. 3 were game-winning home runs, and 1 to Craig Reynolds of the Astros.
1-2 to Cruz. field. Hit well. Wilson over. Side retired. Phew. We're going to go extra innings for the second game in a row. A 3-3 tie. All right. 45,000 plus in the Astrodome. Take a deep breath as Lynn Dykstra, who started the explosion in the top of the ninth inning, leads off in the top of the 10th inning against Dave Smith. He hit his triple off Bob Knepper. Dave Smith has not been sharp since coming into the game. He walked 2, then walked a third intentionally. And he's gone to 2 balls and no strikes on Lynn Dykstra.
And that, more than anything else, proves of his lack of work. No rhythm out there. Matter of fact, the 3-2 pitch to Danny Heath was about 6 inches inside.
There's a fastball strike. Calhoun and Anderson now. Larry Anderson and Jeff Calhoun. Calhoun being the left-hander for Houston. Busy in the bullpen. That's foul back. Trying to chop it to the left side. What with Denny Walling in on the, I don't want to say the grass, in on the rug at third.
That's a page out of the book of Mariano Duncan of the Los Angeles Dodgers. That running bunt where he tries to slap it by the drawn-in third baseman or first baseman.
Bill Robinson comes down, asks for the ball to be checked. Smith gets it back.
I don't know whether that's smart or not. The Mets have momentum. You don't want to go back to that Mike Scott stuffing incident. Mets scored 3 the last inning.
2-2 pitch. Fly ball, right side, foul. Ball running in on the hands, and Dykstra jerked it out of play. The 2 teams that get into the World Series, Tim, are going to be worn out. I don't care who it is. 2-2 to Dykstra. Way up and away. Now it's a full count.
Certainly both teams will be emotionally drained. Gut-wrenching pressure in these playoff series.
Mookie Wilson on deck, and then Kevin Elster for New York in the top of the 10th inning. Dykstra hits the ball to the left side for Jose Cruz, and he makes the catch. 1 out.
And again, a pitch out of the strike zone. Think about it. Dave Smith has walked 3 of the 5 batters that he's faced. And he struck out Danny Heath on a bad pitch, 3-2. Ray Knight on the 2-2 pitch, and then the 3-2 pitch to Dykstra out of the strike zone. He has faced 6, pardon me. So of the 6, his control is not good at all.
High pop up to the left side. Dickie Thon drifts over and makes the catch for out number 2 as Mookie Wilson pops out. Ron Darling scheduled to start for the Mets if there is a 7th game tomorrow night against Mike Scott.
But hoping to start Saturday against either the Red Sox or the Angels.
The Red Sox and Angels on tonight. Game 7 of the American League Championship Series from Fenway Park in Boston. Roger Clemens for the Red Sox and John Candelaria for the Angels. Now it is Kevin Elster. Foul back, out of play. Young man who is out of California, was at Jackson, Mississippi, called up to the Mets. Got into his first ball game in, September, wasn't it?
Elster batted .259 with the Jackson Mets this year.
Keith Hernandez on deck circle. Strike 1 pitch to Elster. Inside corner, 2 strikes. The longer Smith works, it may well be the tougher he'll get. Struck out Elster swinging for the third out. Gets him in order in the top of the 10th. And we'll be back to Game 6 of the National League Championship Series after this message from your local station. During the break, Bill Robinson stopped at home plate and had more conversation with Fred Brocklander about the ball. He had asked during the inning to see the ball and prolonged it.
I question whether it's right to get the Mets to start thinking about these scuffing incidents again. It obviously hasn't worked up to now, and doubtful that it'll work tomorrow night if there is a game.
Alan Ashby leads off. Dickie Thon will follow. And then the pitcher spot as Aurelio Lopez is now up throwing in the bullpen for Houston. Great play, Hernandez at first base. One out.
Alan Ashby hit it hard, but to the wrong guy. Look at Hernandez. He doesn't guard the line in this situation. Had he been on the line, that ball is a base hit. Get to looking at him playing first base, and you wonder how anybody ever gets a hit on the ground to the right side.
Craig Reynolds is coming up to hit for Thon as you look at it one more time.
That's that in-between hop. It's not the short hop. A much tougher hop to handle. Even though on the rug, it's a much more true hop.
Dave Smith is bringing a bat to the on-deck circle. That will depend, I think, on what happens with Craig Reynolds. Of course, Reynolds will go in to play shortstop, with Thon being lifted from the batting order.
Well, I'll tell you what happened to Craig Reynolds back on July 19th. Roger McDowell worked 40 appearances without giving up a home run. And it was Craig Reynolds who hit the first home run, a game winner against Roger McDowell, the 19th of July.
Bottom of the 10th inning. And now Terry Poole has come to the on-deck circle, and Smith has gone back. That means Aurelio Lopez will be coming on to pitch if we go to the top of the 11th inning. Ball one count on Craig Reynolds. Foul into the Houston bullpen. Dave Smith could not put out the fire in the top of the 9th inning. Mike Scott can't do a thing about it. Just hope he gets a chance tomorrow night. Jesse Orozco, having pitched yesterday now, does he become an effective part of the New York bullpen still?
Nobody is tired during the playoffs. You can't use them enough.
That's right. 3-3 ball game, and Reynolds takes it just outside. Now 2 balls and a strike. Roger McDowell is the third New York pitcher. Nobody on, and 1 out for Houston. Again, jerked sharply into the Houston bullpen. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And the bullpens of both clubs, really the difference in this series. Dave Smith's lost a game. Charlie Kerfeld has lost a game. And the Mets relievers in 14 in the 3rd inning have not given up an earned run.
A dramatic statistic. Two to Reynolds. Foul tip held by Carter, and Reynolds is gone. 2 down, and here's Terry Poole.
I think Craig Reynolds possibly thought this ball may have hit the dirt before Carter caught it. Did it?
They have.
It was very close. Look at Reynolds looking back. He can't see, but that ball appeared that it was possibly a short hop.
Yep. Remember tonight, Game 7, the American League Championship Series, Al Michaels and Jim Palmer and our guys in Fenway Park in Boston, with John Candelaria and Roger Clemens scheduled as the pitchers. And Terry Poole swings and misses on a sinker for strike one. Hernandez at first base, guarding the line on the right side. Ray Knight even to the bag at third. Terry Poole fouls it off, and he's behind 2 strikes.
I think Keith Hernandez, biographer, should name a book, if they opt to do a book about that man, and name it In the Game. I've never seen a man in the game as much as Keith Hernandez.
Poole hits it. Fair ball. Hernandez fields. McDowell covers. And they get the put out for the 3rd out. So they get him in order. And we go to the bottom of the 11th inning. Let's go back and have another look from this angle on that foul tip by Craig Reynolds. He thought it hit the dirt.
Remember, once a hitter fouls the ball off, if it hits the dirt, it is not a strikeout.
Yeah, you can't tell.
You really can't tell. It appeared that Carter had the web of the glove right there, but anyway, the Mets got the call.
All right, let's look ahead and tuck this away as the Mets get ready to come to the plate with Hernandez leading off. But in the bottom of the 11th inning, it will be Doran, Hatcher, and Walling, the top of the order for the Houston Astros. But right now, it's the middle folks for the Mets. It's Hernandez, it's Carter, it's Strawberry. And Larry Anderson is now on the mound in the top of the 11th inning, pitching for the Houston Astros. This is his 2nd appearance in the championship series. And the first pitch is a fastball high. Keith Hernandez, with a double back in the 9th inning, that played a major role in getting things rolling for New York to tie. 3-3 ball game as Anderson is down low inside for 2 balls and no strikes.
Anderson, the type of pitcher who likes to pitch left-handers inside. He has a biting slider inside and a sinker away.
2-1. Aurelio Lopez stays up in the pen on the Houston side. So they chose Anderson. Hal Lanier chose Anderson over Lopez. And Hernandez fouls it back. Aurelio could be a situation pitcher here. You might want him to go to one man.
Well, it is a bit of a surprise that Anderson was chosen
I'm surprised. Yeah.
over Lopez. Lopez with 7 saves on the year. Anderson picked up after being released by the Phillies.
2-2 as Hernandez fouls it back. You're talking about a pitcher working inside, and when you start talking about that to a left-handed hitter, Strawberry jumps right up, doesn't it?
Surely does. Any ball down and in is a long ball of both Hernandez and Strawberry.
Back up the middle. Reynolds, the shortstop. Got him. The pitching mound took the sting out of it. If it doesn't hit the mound so solid, It's into center field.
That's exactly what happened. The ball hit the mound. It pops right up, and Reynolds, who is not considered as good a shortstop as Thun, watched the ball almost hit the pitching rubber. I mean, it came within inches, it appeared, of hitting the rubber. Had that ball not hit the mound, it's a sure base hit, so maybe the ball is starting to bounce the Astros' way.
Close play, but he's out. And now Gary Carter. Strike one.
He was out.
Yep.
Just had him by a shoelace. The width, not the length.
Strike one to Carter. It's up high, ball one. I welcome the opportunity to laugh. This thing is pressure packed.
I guarantee you, whether you're watching it or playing in it, watching it might be tougher than playing in it.
2 balls and a strike. The man on deck is Darryl Strawberry. 1 out, nobody on, top of the 11th inning. 3-1. Walked in. All right, Gary Carter to first base. Not a lot of speed there. Darryl Strawberry steps in. David Johnson.
Glenn Davis playing behind Carter, and that's the proper play at first base. That'll give him more room on a predictable ground ball by Strawberry.
High pop left side. Denny Walling going down the line. Foul ground. Makes the catch. And the crowd erupts. And now, Larry Anderson will pitch to Ray Knight.
Hey, it sounds so redundant to say that was a big pitch. There have been so many in this ball game and in this series. But certainly no pitch was bigger than the one to Strawberry.
Knight fouls to the right side. I don't know. You just sort of had the sense, the feeling that Strawberry was going to do something.
The situation was ripe for Strawberry. Giving you another chance to laugh.
I don't know if I'm strong enough to laugh anymore. 1 strike count on Ray Knight. Outside corner, 2 strikes. A 3-3 ball game. And the Mets hitting in the top of the 11th inning. The Mets scored 3 times in the 9th to tie, having been silent all day. Houston got all 3 of their runs in the bottom of the 1st inning. And Knight strikes out. He chased that slider outside and struck out. And the Mets have turned away, stranding Gary Carter at first base, and we're headed for the bottom of the 11th inning. And here you see that slider running away from him. Here's the close play at first in the inning. But Hernandez clearly was out. And here's Houston coming up next in the bottom of the 11th, a 3-3 tie. Bill Doran, Billy Hatcher, Denny Walling scheduled to the plate for the Houston Astros in the bottom of the 11th inning. Roger McDowell on the mound. The third Mets pitcher came on in the 9th inning. It's his game right now.
Roger working his 3rd inning. He has worked over 3 innings only 2 times this year.
Bill Doran has hit a home run in the championship series and did it left-handed. He has 1 hit today, and that was right-handed back in the 1st inning, and that's foul back. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Sid Fernandez in the pen, but he's not yet a factor. If we keep going, he might ultimately be, but not yet. He's just getting some work. Doran swinging at a pitch out of the strike zone. It was off the plate. And it's 1-2. They're calling for the left fielder Wilson to come in a bit. Carter stopping for a moment to get the call, and McDowell is outside with it. They want Mookie to play Doran a little more shallow in left.
And that's the proper procedure, because when a hitter hits the ball the other way, he uses his arm and not his body. Now Santana motioning to Dykstra, or I beg your pardon, Kevin Elster, motioning to Dykstra to come in. So Dykstra has moved in several steps.
To the shortstop, Elster. Loops his throw across, has a nice easy motion at shortstop, and the ball seemingly gets there in good time. 1 out. Billy Hatcher to the plate. Has a base hit in 4 trips and has scored a run. Scored the first run of the game. Strike 1. "15 consecutive Astros retired." Chopper is fouled.
Or you see Sid Fernandez warming in the bullpen. McDowell being the 2nd hitter in the top of the 12th inning, if it goes that far. Fernandez normally a starting pitcher, and he is throwing hard down there.
He is down.
He really is. So he could enter the game in the bottom of the 12th because Orozco has worked 2 innings in yesterday's ball game. We'll see.
Knight gloves it. Loops the throw. Got him. Hatcher pounding just as hard as he could, and just simply couldn't get there.
What a play by Ray Knight. He throws in the same motion. Watch, he's coming down, he's ready to throw, and throws off his back leg. That is an extremely difficult play, and he made it.
And you've got 2 out. And Denny Wallach, the hitter for Houston. That's foul. Fernandez has quit throwing in the New York bullpen.
So that would seem to indicate that either Orozco or maybe McDowell. Remember, McDowell has not worked more than 3 innings this year, but 2 times.
Chopper. Walling going as fast as possible, but not fast enough. as McDowell camped under it and finally got a hold of it and threw him out by half a step. So the Astros are gone at the bottom of the 11th in order. And we're headed now for the top of the 12th for the Mets, as you have another look at the play, and the Mets will have the bottom third of the order coming up. But it's not a gimme. It's Backman, the pitcher spot, and then Dykstra. And here's the play at first. Close, but clearly out. So, 11 complete. And we're even at 3-3.
Blue Bullet, home of a cold Coors Light. Rod, do you work out?
Yeah, I belong to a club. Here's your Coors Light.
Yeah, I'm thinking about joining a club, but can't seem to find a good enough reason. I mean, is a flat stomach a good enough reason?
Nope.
Building up my endurance?
Nope.
Big muscles?
No.
See the club, Rob?
Yeah.
Oh! What's the name of that club?
No slowing down with the silver bullet tonight.
Watch how Keith Hernandez, normally giving the target inside in fair territory, shifts to the outside because McDowell ends up in foul territory. He's going in, and now he shifts in foul territory because that's where McDowell is.
You know, McDowell almost hit Walling with that.
Surely did. He certainly did.
Wally Backman, pitcher spot. And the pitcher's out there right now. McDowell, and then Len Dykstra. Backman up for the second time today. He was walked intentionally when he first came up as a pinch hitter for Tuffle. Larry Anderson on the mound for the Astros in the top of the 12th. It's outside for ball one. Chop to the first baseman, one bounce. Davis makes the play, one down. And now, the pitcher McDowell will come to the plate. If there is a seventh game, it'll be at 8 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow night here on ABC, with Mike Scott scheduled for Houston, Ron Darling scheduled for the Mets. But our first problem is resolving this one. It was 3-0 from the first inning on for Houston. The Mets had 9 people to the plate in the top of the ninth, scored it, and the last out was recorded with the bases loaded. Anderson is in with a strike to McDowell.
Normally, Davy Johnson would use a pinch hitter here, but he's only got one pinch hitter left. That's Howard Johnson. He is the only available player left to hit for the Mets unless Johnson uses a pitcher. Of course, you do have Ed Hearn. Ed Hearn has not been to bat, but you hate to use that second catcher.
Broken bat, roller to Doran at second, 2 down. Yeah, you spin that second catcher, and then somebody gets bit. Gary gets bit behind the plate. You got a problem.
And you have no one left to go behind there. The Mets carrying only 2 catchers, as are the Houston Astros.
Now it is Len Dykstra. And the crowd kind of groaning and seeing him come up because he's been double poisoned for Houston. That's the folks left on the bench. Foul back. It was Dykstra's triple on a good pitch from Bob Knepper that started this whole thing for the Mets back in the top of the 9th inning when they scored their 3 runs to tie.
Bob Knepper just pitched a remarkable 8 innings. He allowed only 3 base runners, 2 base hits. Mets tied it in the 9th with 3.
Foul ball.
Normally, you don't see the pitcher still out on the bench 3 innings after he has worked 8 innings. But there's Bob Knepper in the jacket.
Two-strike pitch to Dykstra with 2 out. Just low. Shortstop Reynolds has it. So the Mets put aside in the top of the 12th inning. We will be back after this message from your local stations, a 3-3 tie. The crowd on its feet at the Astrodome, more than 45,718 to be exact, as Glenn Davis, Kevin Bass, and Jose Cruz are scheduled up in the bottom of the 12th inning. The Astros have their power hitters coming to the plate. Davis had 17 big ones in the dome this year. 18, including that first game. Inside, it almost hit him. Fastball.
Looked like this pitch went between his waist and his belt buckle. How in the world did it miss him? Oh.
Foul ball to the left side. Nobody in the New York bullpen. Nobody in the Houston bullpen. One pitch. That's a foul ball. Back a third. Outfield is on the edge of Harris County.
They are rather deep, yes. Of course, you have to respect Glenn Davis's power. Only the second Astro ever to hit more than 30 home runs in a season. 17 in this ballpark.
1-2 the count. Count stays there. 1-2.
We mentioned that McDowell has only worked more than 3 innings on 2 occasions this year. Now, for a sinker baller, working a long time is not necessarily bad, because the more tired they are, the more their ball has a tendency to sink. Not as imperative for relief pitchers.
McDowell came in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Not imperative for them to be strong to be effective.
1-2 the count on Glenn Davis. Ball bounces as he swings and misses on a sailing slider or a sinker, and it is out number 1. So McDowell disposes of Houston's primary home run hitter on a strikeout.
Really a fine play by Carter. Look at him shift out. He catches the short hop. And then decides that since he can't catch Davis, he'll throw to Hernandez.
Now it is Kevin Bass. Ball 1. Fastball just low. One and one.
Well, the bottom fell out of that sinker.
It really did. Houston must win, or else they go home. And the Mets go to the World Series. A 3-3 tie in the 12th inning, and Kevin Bass fouls it away, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes.
McDowell, such an interesting story. 2 years ago, as you look at Jose Cruz on deck, 2 years ago, Roger McDowell in February of '84 had an operation. He had bone chips removed from his elbow. He pitched in 3 games, a total of 4 innings, the year of 1984, and has said that his arm is better since he's come back from arthroscopic surgery.
Over the mound, bouncing into center field, base hit for Bass. 18 Astros had gone down in order until Bass's bouncing single up the middle. And now Roger McDowell, as Davy Johnson and Mel Stottlemyre look on, will be pitching to Jose Cruz.
Well, Bass is going to be running. It's just a matter of when. I'll tell you, when he does run with McDowell pitching, it's very difficult for Carter, who has had problems throwing in this series, to throw the sinker baller because most of the time it's going to be low. Not a good position to make a strong throw.
Aurelio Lopez gets up and goes back into the Houston bullpen. Sinker, and Cruz can't get it. That's in the 13th. If we get that far, we'll have Wilson Elster Hernandez. Fouled at the plate, and 2 strikes on Cruz. McDowell made that one token throw to first. Now he's left Bass alone. So let's see what Kevin does. See how far he dares to creep.
I guess if he's thinking of not going, he's thinking more of Jose Cruz using the hole on the right side. Possibly have first and third. Another left-hand batter on deck, Alan Ashby.
Just inside, close. Dennis Menke, the third base coach, looking across, going through signs, whether they mean anything or not, can't tell.
This is a good running situation right here. Cruz will protect the plate and the runner.
Potential tying run, a potential winning run at first base for Houston. With New York having come from 3-0 to a 3-3 tie in the top of the 9th inning, and we're battling now in the bottom of the 12th inning. And the pitch is just inside and low.
I'm really surprised that Bass has not taken off up to this time. Dennis Menke flashing some signs.
Well, he really hasn't put his foot on the rug yet.
No, he hasn't. He's shown really no signs of running. I'm surprised.
McDowell now dictating the tempo. Bass goes. Pitch is outside. Carter's throw. He's out. Gary Carter's throw was absolutely on the money. I mean, he couldn't have been better. And the pitch was outside off the plate, which gave him the opportunity to throw.
Even though the ball was really tailing away. And what happens is a catcher has to bring that ball back up to the right shoulder for the transfer. Carter did it quickly and has Bass on an absolutely perfect throw.
And the count on Jose Cruz now, 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 out. Bouncer to the right side for Backman. And the side's retired. So we are headed now for the 13th in a 3-3 tie. The top of the 13th inning scheduled up for the New York Mets. The top of the order: Mookie Wilson, Kevin Elster, and Keith Hernandez against Larry Anderson. Anderson now headed for his 3rd inning of work, being the 3rd Houston pitcher. Nepper, brilliant for 8 1/3. Then Smith, not effective, and Anderson. Coming up at 8 o'clock tonight, more baseball that will perhaps, I don't know if it could have any more drama. I don't think it'd have any more than this. The only thing that might make it a little different than this one is that's Game 7. They aren't going to play anymore in that one. They got to get a decision and somebody's going home. But it's John Candelaria for the California Angels and Roger Clemens for the Boston Red Sox. Al Michaels and Jim Palmer.
Cool. And what drove those two teams to Game 7 was because of what happened in Game 5, that remarkable game on Sunday, and then the Red Sox in a blowout last night, winning big, 10-4. By the way, this is farther than any League Championship Series game has ever gone. Previous record was 12 innings. And the National League, Cincinnati at New York, as you chronicled yesterday, Keith, and Minnesota at Baltimore, October 4th, 1969.
These two teams have put a lot of new numbers in the record book.
They certainly have. A lot of goose eggs up there, too.
That's it. 3-3 tie as Mookie Wilson steps in, swings and misses. Larry Anderson was for a fleeting time unemployed. Earlier this year, the Astros picked him up when he was cut for the Phillies, and now he's standing pretty tall out on that mound. Flags it down and throws out Mookie Wilson. Now Kevin Elster. Is he Walter Mitty? How many times has someone stepped from the shadows in moments like this? Pitch is outside and high, ball 1. Well, they haven't won it yet, but they sure are still in the hunt, however low the batting average might be. One and one count on Elster. 1-2. That's a nasty little slider.
It certainly is. That's that slot that he works to left-handed hitters, inside on left-handed hitters, and away on right-handed hitters. And when you're in a situation like that, or like this is, you're not going to get beat on anything but your best, and that's his best, that slider.
Deflected to Doran at second base, and he throws him out. If Anderson doesn't get a piece of it, it might well have been a base hit.
I guess that brings about a reflection of the deflection by the mound on the ball that Hernandez hit, leading off the 11. That ball's a base hit. Hernandez's ball would have been a base hit. This is some ball game.
Now Keith Hernandez. He struck out looking, fly ball center, grounded out second baseman, doubled, scored a run, bounced out to the shortstop. It didn't exactly bounce out, did it? Caromed off the pitching mound, and Reynolds made a heck of a play. Innocent looking 6-3 number in your scorecard. Anderson starts in high for ball 1. That slider, and that's a strike. Anderson with the Phillies was not part of the 1983 National League Championship Series when the Phillies beat the Dodgers. but he did see some action in the '83 World Series. He seasoned just off the corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. Those of you in the Eastern time zone, when you went off today, I suppose you didn't think you'd have a chance to see any part of this ball game, but welcome. Those of you who have reached home. 3 runs for Houston in the first inning, 3 runs for New York in the 9th inning, and the Mets batting now in the top of the 13th. And it's just high. 3 balls and 1 strike now as Anderson falls behind Hernandez.
New York City may contain 5 ghost boroughs as we speak.
3-2. He's had a full rip at that good slider from Anderson. And he took it right into him, and he couldn't touch it.
I think he's going to have another shot at it, too.
Shortstop Reynolds. Ball hit right to him. So Larry Anderson continues a very impressive performance as he gets the Mets in order in the top of the 13th inning. And we continue with a 3-3 tie. And Houston will bring to the plate Ashby, Reynolds, and then we'll see. Here we go to the bottom of the 13th inning. This is the longest game since 1916 in postseason play when Boston beat Brooklyn 2-1 in 14 innings. And you know who the winning pitcher was, and if you tell him, I'm going to throw something.
I'm not going to tell him.
Babe Ruth is the winning pitcher.
George Herman Ruth. My goodness.
Gail is up amongst the Astro faithful, clapping her hands as her husband Alan Ashby, the Houston catcher, comes to the plate to lead off, and Craig Reynolds to the on-deck circle, and we'll wait to see what happens with the pitcher spot. Hal Lanier, like Davy Johnson, gets pretty low on people to send to the plate. And the first pitch bites that inside corner for a strike against Ashby. He's got Pankovich down there, who's a right-handed hitter. He has Davy Lopes down there, who's a right-handed hitter. He has John Misrock, who's a left-handed hitter, but Misrock's the catcher. Whether or not you want to spin that second catcher. Low, ball 1. 1-1.
Wally Backman, because of the speed of Alan Ashby, is playing in shallow right field.
Mookie's well back and left. Just missing. 2-1.
If Ashby gets on there, Hal Lanier may spend a pinch runner for Allen. Davy Lopes is available.
That puts Misrock into the game then as a left-handed hitter. That's fouled at the plate and will put him into the pitcher spot hitting. And Davy, he can still move it. 40 years old.
Sounds strange, but you can tell that Davy Lopes is getting ready to run. He's putting his gloves on. I know that sounds strange.
But he does. He wears gloves.
That's right. And there's the gloves.
Manicures and pincers these days.
Age of specialization.
High in the air, left center field. Dykstra has called off Wilson, and Lynn makes the catch for out number 1. Now it's the shortstop, Craig Reynolds. And though McDowell hasn't many times traveled past 3 innings, he still looks very strong, very effective. And the man who was stunned by the turnaround of things at the top of the 9th inning, the starting pitcher, Bob Nepper. Pankovich has come out, right-handed hitter, Jim Pankovich. So he's going to go to the pitcher spot. It'll be his second appearance in the series. Reynolds struck out against McDowell back in the 10th inning. Hits it on the ground to Keith Hernandez at first. McDowell covers, and you got 2 down. And Bankovich is going to come up. Four and 2/3, the longest outing of Roger McDowell's career. Though the books, 4 and 2/3. That's right.
His longest outing this year, 4 innings. He worked 4 innings against the Montreal Expos, picking up a save August 1st. He has still been effective.
Bankovich at the plate. Takes a strike. Bill Doran is on deck. 2 down, nobody aboard. Houston hitting in the bottom of the 13th inning. Sharply hit. Knight down the line. Throws and gets it. So the Astros are flooded in the bottom of the 13th. And we roll along to the top of the 14th in a 3-3 tie. Well, that old expression, to the wall, certainly fits here because it looked like Houston had it in hand and then bang, the Mets erupt, and ever since then both teams have been quiet.
Well, this isn't a baseball game. It's insurgency, I think. I mean, these two teams are going at each other as though there were no tomorrow, and it's interesting in that in the Houston Astros case, there will be no tomorrow if they lose tonight's ball game. And it is tonight, a day game that is turned tonight.
Pitching change here for Houston. Aurelio Lopez has come in. Certainly not among the fireballers of this generation.
No, a lot of screwballs. Different from Larry Anderson, certainly, and maybe that was in Hal Lanier's thinking, because Anderson had the slider going into the left-handed hitters. Lopez, conversely, with the screwball going away from the left-handed hitter.
He will be pitching to Gary Carter, Darryl Strawberry, and Ray Knight as he comes out to work the top of the 14th inning. Aurelio's been in the cooker before. Certainly was a prominent figure for the Detroit Tigers a couple of years ago. This game isn't doing anybody's batting average any good either.
Only 12 hits, 7 for Houston, 5 for the Mets.
And Lopez first pitch in the top of the 14th inning to Carter is outside for ball 1. Pretty good pop on his fastball. 1-1. Orozco's now headed for the bullpen for New York. Ball is hit, punched to the right side, drops in front of Kevin Bass for a base hit, and Gary Carter is aboard in the top of the 14th inning with Darryl Strawberry coming to the plate.
And since the 3-run ninth, that is only the second base runner for the New York Mets. The only other runner was Gary Carter his last time up. He walked in the 11th.
Orozco is beginning to throw in the New York Mets bullpen. He was in the game yesterday. Darryl Strawberry. And the pitch is high. There is nobody in the Houston bullpen.
And there's nobody thinking bunt for Darryl Strawberry as you see Orozco warming up.
There is now. Darwin's on his way. Danny Darwin heading for the Houston bullpen. And he turns that Scroogie over to make it 2 balls and no strikes as it missed the outside corner. screwball, I guess, would figure is his outpitch primarily, wouldn't it?
Especially to a left-handed hitter.
Tries to come inside with it. Now he's behind. 3 balls and no strikes. And Gary Carter's on first base. The last thing in the world that Hal Lanier wants to see here is that go-ahead run at second base with nobody out. Even though Carter doesn't represent great speed. Walked him.
Now we'll see if Ray Knight bunts. Hal Lanier is flashing signs to the third baseman or second baseman. Looks like Bill Doran in this case. Gary Carter may be removed for a pinch runner.
Come over to talk to Bud Harrelson. No, he's going to stay in.
And Ray Knight now down to talk to Bud Harrelson. Doran, Reynolds, Walling talking to Lopez. Got a field of conversation out there. But the Astros do have a rotation play. And in the rotation play, what happens? The third baseman and first baseman charge. The shortstop covers third. The second baseman covers first. So we'll see if it's on right here. No assurity that Knight is bunting.
Well, it was Knight's sacrifice fly that produced the tying run for New York back in the 9th inning. He might have indicated bunt there.
And that's why the Astros didn't put on the rotation play. Walling at third. Now Doran in to talk to Lopez. If you're not sure that a batter is bunting, you're less inclined to put on the rotation play.
Now he shows bunt and puts it down. And the pitcher Lopez has got to make the play to third. And he got him. So the lead runner, Carter, is thrown out at third, and here's that element of foot speed involved right here.
That's exactly right. Gary Carter at second base. You can't really fault Gary. The bunt was too hard. Lopez on it like a cat, and he has Carter easily at third base. See, a hitter tries to bunt the ball to make the third baseman field it, but in this case, the third baseman fields the ball for the out from the pitcher.
Now it's Wally Backman with 1 out, and Darryl Strawberry at second base, and he has more speed. And Howard Johnson has now come out of the Mets dugout with a bat in his hand. The last of the pinch hitters, unless you include the catcher Hearn. Inside corner to Backman with a slider. Ball strike 1 called by Fred Brocklander, the plate umpire.
Darryl Strawberry considers third base easier to steal than second, even with the left-handed hitter up there. If the Astros don't pay heed to Strawberry, he'll take off.
Base hit right field. Strawberry coming around third. Bass charges and throws high, sails to the backstop. And the runners move up as Bass had trouble getting the ball out of his glove, never had a grip on it, and threw it to the backstop, and the Mets go to the lead 4-3.
Kevin Bass surely would have had a play on Strawberry had he not had trouble getting the ball out of his glove. A screwball. It's not hit sharply, but Bass playing very shallow. Now watch the difficulty. There, the little hesitation, and the throw over the head of Ashby nets a run for the Mets.
I would think there's got to be an error on the throw in from Bass,
allowing
advancing the runners. Yep.
Right, allowing Backman going to second base. You know, that could have been a blessing in disguise, the aborted bunt play, because that made the Astros have to pitch to Wally Backman. Otherwise, they walk him and face Johnson with the bases loaded and 1 out.
So Johnson is now hitting for the pitcher, McDowell. And Orozco is in the bullpen. Howard Johnson is going to be put on, I think.
Well, what'll happen, Lanier, instead of putting a runner on, guessing that this might be a squeeze play, will pitch out 4 times. He's done it against the Mets this year. We'll see if they do it again. See, they act like they're going to pitch to him and then pitch out 4 times.
They pitch to him and pop him up. And Ashby comes back to the screen in foul ground, makes the catch. And you've got 2 outs.
And I guess the reason they did go ahead and pitch to him was because Lenny Dykstra was on deck.
Dykstra has been nothing but trouble for him. So, a 4-3 lead for the Mets now in the top of the 14th inning with Ray Knight at third, Wally Backman at second, 2 down, and they will walk Dykstra.
You have a left-handed hitter, actually Wilson, a switch hitter coming up, but Wilson has not had the series that Dykstra has had. Dykstra has hit in 5 of the 6 games. He was held hitless in the only game in yesterday's game. So they elect to pitch to Mookie Wilson.
Mookie left-handed, 2 for 15. And it was Bob Neffer who was so in control for 8 1/3 innings.
Keith, I don't think there's any question that Kevin Bass would have had a play on Strawberry had he come up cleanly with the ball. Even though Backman didn't hit the ball well, had Kevin come up cleanly with the ball, Strawberry might be a dead duck on a strong throw.
Wilson in against Lopez and punches it foul left side out of play. The inning started with Carter single. Walked Strawberry. And then Knight's bunt back to the mound. Lopez got Carter at third, moving Strawberry to second, and then Backman singled to right. Strawberry scored. That's fouled by Wilson because Bass couldn't get a hold of the ball to make the strong throw to the plate. Orozco warming up, and he'll be pitching to the top of the order for the Houston Astros in the bottom of the 14th inning, a game that Houston has to win to force a 7th game. Wilson strikes out. So we move to the bottom of the 14th inning. The New York Mets leading 4-3, and back after this message from your local station. Jesse Orozco making his 3rd appearance. He has won 2 games. 2 wins and a save would be quite a championship series as he pitches to Bill Doran. Strike call. It'll be Doran, Hatcher, Walling for Houston. 4-3, Mets lead. If Orozco makes a stand-up, they are the National League champions of 1986.
Not one Met reliever in 18 innings has given up an earned run, and the relievers have given up only 1 run in this series for the Mets. High fastball, Doran swings and doesn't get it. His count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Al Lanier telling Doran just to hit the ball back through the middle. Orozco strikes him out. 1 down. I'll tell you, it appears that Jesse Orozco's pride is surfacing after Roger McDowell took over the #1 reliever's role for the Mets this year. Orozco has been devastating in this playoff series. Billy Hatcher. Davey Lope is on deck. He will hit for Walling. Curve bends in low. Ball 1. Al Lanier going to the percentage, sending Lopes, the right-hander, up for Walling, the left-hander. Ball is hit hard to the left side, but it's fouled by about 35, 40 feet. Mets. I think the rest of the story you know.
in there for a strike. 1-2.
I don't think Hatcher's going to get another inside fastball, either a heater away or a curve.
Away. And it's 2-2.
If you make a mistake on the fastball away in a one-run in a game situation, a single is all he'll get. Inside could be a homer.
Breaking pitch, close. Full count to Hatcher. 3 balls and 2 strikes. High in the air, toward the corner, curving. It is home run. Watch it closely as it goes hooking toward the foul pole. It is so close. He knows that he's got enough wood on it, but is it going to stay fair? Does that remind you of Bud's fist a little?
Game 6 of the 75 series. And that's what we were talking about the inside fastball. Hatcher had just pulled one foul down the line, and this one hit the net. 3 inches fair. The danger of the inside fastball, and now Walling will bat for himself.
Eddie Walling will stay in the game, and a 4-4 tie at the bottom of the 14th inning, and Jesse Orozco is really stung for the first time in the series. That's foul back, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike on the Houston third baseman.
See, that's the advantage of getting that 1-2 and 2-2 pitch over to make Hatcher put the ball in play on your terms. Once it goes to 3-2, you can't afford to walk him, and he's got to throw a strike.
Walling hits it to Hernandez, and Orozco covers it first. And you got 2 down. Well, you've got 2 out. Hatcher has just homered to tie at the bottom of the 14th, and here's the big man, Lynn Davis. And Orozco's got to pitch to him because there's nobody warmed up.
Lynn has a couple of hits, a single and a double. He drove in the 3rd run, or the 2nd run, back in the 1st.
Outside, ball 1. Billy right now is afraid to smile too much. I mean, he's thankful and he's happy, but his team hasn't won yet. Davis swings and misses on a sinking slider for 1-1. Davis pops that one to the right side, and it's foul out of play. One hour from now, Game 7 of the American League Championship Series will start between the Red Sox and the Angels at Fenway in Boston. 1-2 pitch to Davis. Foul ball left side. Got around on it. Pop up to the infield by Davis. Charlie Blackmon makes the catch for the third out. So Billy Hatcher hits a home run that is fair by less than a foot down the left field line. And the crowd is standing and still roaring. And we'll go on to the top of the 15th inning. A 4-4 tie.
I really don't believe that 14th inning. Wally Backman driving in the run on the screwball on the ball that was held by Kevin Bass. And, of course, now what really comes into play is Howard Johnson as the pinch hitter popping up with only one out. And that set the stage for Billy Hatcher on the 3-2 pitch. How many 3-2 counts have been devastating for both sides in this series?
I can think immediately of 4.
See him turn on that inside pitch. How appropriate that you mentioned Carlton Fisk in the 6th game of the 75 series. My goodness.
Charlie Kerfeld's reaction while this was going on. Matt Galante jumped higher than he's jumped in 15 years at that first base coaching box. Well, I tell you, this has been a remarkable series. These are two tough baseball teams that are well matched. My goodness. Kevin Elster will lead it off for the Mets in the top of the 15th with Keith Hernandez and then Gary Carter scheduled up. Aurelio Lopez. Really, under the circumstances, an unlikely figure out on the mound for the Houston Astros.
Certainly with Charlie Kerfeld yet to enter the ball game. Danny Darwin yet to enter any ball game. It's going down to warm up. I don't think Lanier wants a replay at the top of the 14th inning.
Two balls and a strike now on Kevin Elster. I guarantee you one thing, there'll be no public appearances by either team anywhere tomorrow. They'll need to sleep all day. Outside corner, 2-2.
That might go for the crowd here, too.
Full count on the leadoff man for the Mets in the top of the 15th inning, Kevin Elster. Mike Scott among those pacing in that Houston dugout, and Elster fouls it away and stays alive. You're almost at the point where you got to play with who you've got in the lineup now. A couple of small moves can still be made, but not a whole lot. And Elster popped it up on the right side. Glenn Davis, the first baseman, calls for it. And one out. (1968), they played how many innings? 24? Well, back in 62, the first time they met, they played 11 innings. And Houston won both those games.
Well, I think the most important time for the Mets, when they took the lead in the 14th inning, they just stopped. They really still had a golden opportunity to tack on another run. With runners at second and third and only one out, and pinch hitter Howard Johnson popped up to Ashby. And then after an intentional walk to Dykstra, Mookie Wilson struck out with the bases loaded. So a chance to really put the Astros away, but they failed to do it, and remarkably, this team came back.
Now it's Keith Hernandez with one out, and Carter to the on-deck circle. Against Aurelio Lopez. Right. Bulldog's got some ears on him, but he's got some bite in him, and he's coming right at Keith Hernandez. There's that Scroogey, and it's 2 strikes. He really twisted that screwball down and away. Strike 3 call.
After the screwball, a fastball right on the corner freezes Hernandez.
Now it's Gary Carter.
Kind of like to freeze this game, wouldn't you? A little time capsule.
That's right.
I'm not too sure. We're not in one.
Character, both sides. Pop foul, out of play. They should add time for that. Strike 1 pitch to Carter. He's outside.
I would imagine Lopez will stay away from Carter. Because remember, a mistake away, you just get a base hit.
2-1.
As Billy Hatcher proved, a mistake inside. Long ball.
Strawberry on deck. Hard shot. Hatcher on the move. Can't get it, but knocks it down, and he holds Carter to a single. And Gary hit it on the nose.
A good play by Billy Hatcher. He was playing deep, and he should have been playing deep, not only for Carter, but outfielders have a tendency to play deeper in these innings, in these situations, to prevent the double. He smothered the in-between hop and made a good play.
Strawberry at the plate in the top of the 15th inning. A 4-4 tie. Carter. Tie-breaking run on first base. 2 down. Through ball. 1-1 the count. Longest game in innings and in time in postseason play. This ball game. Ball rolls around. Carter breaks for second. Throw down. He's a dead duck. Ball got away from Alan Ashby. He turned around, threw his mask away, found the ball. Carter saw the ball loose, saw that Ashby didn't know where it was, took off. Ashby found it and fired a strike to second base.
Carter did not break right away, but Alan Ashby hops on the ball. Watch. See, Carter doesn't break right away. Now it's too late. Ashby pounces on it, throws a strike to get Carter easily at second.
And the side is retired. And we'll go to the bottom of the 15th inning in a 4-4 tie. Now, let's go to ABC News, New York, for this news update from Peter Jennings. The Astrodome in Houston, Texas, as Alan Ashby getting ready to come up. He'll be following Bass and Cruz. And let's go back to the play on Carter. You see the ball in the dirt. Ashby didn't exactly know where it was. Carter got a late break from first base. Not a great deal of foot speed from Gary, and Ashby right on the base.
Kind of funny to see Darryl Strawberry getting down right there. He didn't want to get hit in the coconut.
It's Kevin Bass, Jose Cruz, and Alan Ashby. The 3 hitters facing Jesse Orozco, and Bass hits it down toward the corner. It is a foul ball. Got all of it, but it was fouled by a couple of feet.
That's like
umpire Dutch Winters making the call rather quickly.
Pardon me, Keith. That's like the ball that Billy Hatcher hit before his home run. He fouled one down in the corner. That was foul, and then on the 3-2 pitch and the 14th, he tied the game with a home run.
Strike one pitch to bat. Strike two. Struck him out on a breaking pitch right in on the hand. Now Jose Cruz.
Boy, this is a biting breaking ball. Down and in, and Bass misses it by about 4 inches.
Cruz had a single back in the first inning. They've followed him since then. And Orozco starts him with a curveball strike. Fastball strike.
You know, this is the quickest 15-inning game I've ever seen. Only 4 hours old.
That's just because it's been exciting. Didn't go through. Pitch was low. Lopes right-hander, Mizrock left-handed for Houston on the bench. No left-handers left for New York. One right-handed hitter, Ed Hearn. Both managers hate to spin that second catcher. Strikes out Cruz. So Orozco here in the bottom of the 15th gets the first 2 hitters swinging. A 4-4 ball game as Alan Ashby comes to the plate, and he'll hit right-handed, and he hit a home run in New York to win a game right-handed. Hit it the second inning, but it stood up.
You know, over 14 and 2/3 innings, the Astros have stranded 3.
3 people.
In 10 of the 14 innings, they've only sent 3 batters to the plate.
New York, on the other hand, the Mets have stranded 9.
Stranding 3 big ones in the top of the 14th.
Curveball strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Alan Ashby. We're going to have a problem here in a little while. What will the American League Championship is starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Pitch is outside. 2-1. John Candelaria for the Angels and Roger Clemens for the Red Sox in Game 7 of the American League Championship Series, scheduled to begin our coverage at 8 o'clock. 2-2. Ojeda started. Aguilera in the 6th, McDowell in the 9th, Orozco in the 14th, and we're now in the bottom of the 15th in a 4-4 tie. Hit to the right side, toward the hole. Backman scoots over and whips the throw to Hernandez to retire the side. So on we go. 4-4 between the Astros and the Mets. Trio, Hatcher coming in. Doran going back. It drops between them. Strawberry turns second and holds on. Oh, my goodness. Billy Hatcher is playing deep. I'm not sure he saw the ball.
He took 1 step back, too. He thought the ball was hit better than it really was. The 1 step back cost him dearly. Screwball off the end of the bat. Now he's already taken the 1 step back. Now he has too far to go because he's playing Strawberry too deeply. Doran can't get to it. And the Astros fortunate this ball wasn't a triple.
The tie-breaking run now, the go-ahead run at second base, and Darryl Strawberry leading off the top of the 16th inning. And Ray Knight at the plate. Shows no indication he's going to put it down. And the history may be a factor here because he has not been very successful at it. Hasn't had a sacrifice since 83.
1983. It's been 3 years since he sacrificed successfully.
Hits a base hit to right field. That's going to bring Strawberry home. Bass's throw offline. Strawberry scores and Knight goes to second. Again, Bass has got to play with an accurate throw.
That's exactly right. The first time in the 14th inning, he couldn't get the ball out of the glove. This throw goes up the line. Had it been on home plate, he's got a shot. Again, he's playing Knight shallow. Knight going the other way. Now watch Bass's throw. Up the line. Ashby, by coming up the line, is passed by Strawberry.
And the Mets have gone to the lead 5-4, and Aurelio Lopez is out of the ball game as Jeff Calhoun is going to be called in to pitch to the left-handed hitter Wally Backman. So Aurelio Lopez successful enough through 2 innings, but stung here. Billy Hatcher playing deep against Strawberry, and you got to play Strawberry deep.
Right.
But I don't think that he ever had a good pickup on the ball, the fly ball that dropped between Hatcher and Doran in center field.
We talked about the pains of acrylic glass. On top of this, 4,596 of them. And the ball is not easy to pick up. But Billy Hatcher should have played the ball, or should have made the catch, actually, with that much hang time. But because he didn't pick it up, and because he took the step back, well, that cost him dearly.
So Jeff Calhoun comes into the ball game for the Houston Astros. Calhoun, left-hander, with Houston in 1985 was 2-5.
Ray Knight, it looked like he was going to right field all the way to try to advance Strawberry, and did he ever advance him? Knight going on to second base, hoping the Astros will just cut the ball off and trade a run for an out. Tell you what, Beowulf was the epic in literature, and in 10,000 years, maybe if somebody sees a tape of this game, it may be the epic of our society as we live in it today.
1986, Calhoun was 1-0 in Houston, then went down to Tucson and came back up to the Astros and was put on the roster for the championship series, and this is his first appearance in the ball game.
Backman may be bunting here. The Mets do have one pinch hitter left. I guess Davy Johnson's got to decide whether he wants to keep Orozco in the ball game or not.
In bringing in the left-handed pitcher now, Hal Lanier makes Wally Backman turn around to hit right-handed.
Even though Backman hit right-handed better this year, he was not as effective as a left-handed batter. Or as a right-handed batter, pardon me.
Calhoun starts in with a strike. Darwin now is going back to the bullpen. And Charlie Kerfeld, who was the loser yesterday, has not made an appearance in the bullpen today. Calhoun throws that little sinker in there and gets a swing and a miss. Threw it right into the hand.
I think the fact that Backman is not bunting and swinging away is indicative of the fact that Orozco will probably remain in the game.
Two-strike pitch. Chopped foul at third. Mets have gone back to the lead 5-4. They took the lead in the 14th. But Houston came back on Hatcher's home run at the bottom of the 14th to tie it. Now the Mets have untied it. And there's the man who was so dominant for so long in this contest. He has still not gone to the clubhouse. He has not missed a second of this ball game. Bob Nichols. Ball squirts away from Ashby. Runner breaks for third, and in there is Ray Knight. What a big run he would be if they should get him home.
That's right, because the Mets realized that they blew a chance to add on in the 14th inning.
That's charged as a wild pitch to Calhoun.
A catcher's trained to keep the ball out in front of him. Those wild pitches come on balls that bounce to the right or to the left of a catcher, and that's what that did to Ashby.
Pitcher of record for Houston right now is Lopez. Infield is up. And the pitch is up. 2-2. Bass shortened up in right field. Hatcher in center. Thru's not very deep in left. And a 2-2 count to Backman. Inside and tight. Full count, 3-2. Reynolds, the pitcher spot, and Dora scheduled for Houston in the bottom of the 16th inning.
And the Astros have only Lopes and Mizrock to pinch hit.
Pop foul, right side, out of play.
It really is a shame that there has to be a loser in this ball game.
Off the fist, foul, right side. The pitcher, Orozco, waiting on deck. Pitching arm wrapped in a coat. Sis, for the moment, a spectator in the Mets bullpen as Backman works Calhoun for a walk. And now Orozco has the coat off. The bat in hand comes up. And I think Bud Harrelson will have a conversation with him as to what to do. You have nobody out. You have a run in for a 5-4 Mets lead. You have Knight over at third. And you have Backman at first.
With nobody out, you don't even think about a squeeze play here. But what you think about is a straight sacrifice, as though no runner were on third. I would imagine Orozco will try to get it down to get Backman to second.
Pitch is outside, gets away from Ashby, comes to the backstop, Knight scores, and it is 6-4 Mets. Backman goes to second.
I would imagine that will be a pass ball, because the ball should have been handled. The ball tailing away from Alan Ashby. Orozco squaring around the bunt. He takes it, and the ball off the webbing of Alan Ashby. One thing you forget about how tired both of these catchers have to be. Grueling back there.
Wild pitch it goes. But right down the line, Walling throws, and Orozco moves Backman over to third with the sacrifice. So the Mets get a little bonus there on the second wild pitch of the inning by Calhoun. 6-4, Mets lead. Game 6. They can make that stand up. They'll head for the World Series and wait, I'm sure, through the night, laying their tired bodies in a relaxed prone position while they watch the Angels and the Red Sox determine the American League Championship.
If they could stay awake.
If they can stay awake. Calhoun now is pitching to Dykstra with the infield up, and he's high for ball one. One out. Wilson on deck. Off Davis's glove into right field. Base hit. And Backman scores from third. And it is 7-4 Mets. Dykstra continues to grow in stature.
At the outset of these games, we said how valuable Backman and Dykstra were to this ball club, and they continue to prove it. Strange game without the infield in. That's an AB because Davis makes the catch of the line drive instead of the ball going off his glove because of playing too close.
Top of the order, Wilson now, and the crowd starts to leave. And Calhoun is low for ball one.
See, Davis has to play shallow, and the ball's on top of him too quickly, and it went right off the webbing. If he's playing back, he makes the catch, but you can't play back in that situation.
1-1 to Mookie. At this point, you have to have the feeling the Mets are headed for their third World Series. To Doran at second. Over to Reynolds, back to first. They turn the double play. But 3 big runs score. Going to the bottom of the 16th, 7-4 Mets. Back after this message from your local station.
You see anything?
For MacGyver's Richard Dean Anderson and Valerie Bertinelli. The battle begins at home. Ordinary Heroes Sunday.
Did you make 2 trips to get your eyeglasses? Never again. At LensCrafters, we'll
can become quite a figure when you ponder the record books in the future as we wait for the Game 7 of the American League Championship Series. Angels and Red Sox, Candelaria and Clemens coming at 8 Eastern Time. Orozco is out there now with a chance to win his third game.
And the last time that was done in a best 4 out of 7 series was when Denny McClain did it back in 1968 for the Detroit Tigers. I beg your pardon, Mickey Lolich did it. Yeah. And I was on that ball club against whom he did it, the St. Louis Cardinals. Gibson did it in 67, Lou Burdett for the Braves back in 57, and Harry Burkeen did it for the St. Louis Cardinals back in 1946. They won 3 games in a 4 out of 7 series.
He'll have to deal with Craig Reynolds, Davey Lopes, and Bill Doran. Lopes will be hitting in the pitcher spot. 7-4, New York, 3 outs away from winning the 1986 National League Championship. Two balls and no strikes for Craig Reynolds. Orozco, in amplifying what Tim McCarver just said, will be the first, I believe, to win 3 in relief.
That's right.
Yeah.
All the others did it as starting pitchers.
2-1. To Reynolds. All the hitters can do now, go up there and make him throw strikes.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Reynolds taking here. He took the 2-0 pitch. Reynolds, the left-handed hitter, has to hit against Orozco because Hal Lanier only has 2 more players to pinch hit.
And one of them's on deck. Davy Lopes. Nope. Tried to put it on the ground and tipped it foul to the backstop, and it's now full at 3-2. Don't think that was a Lanier decision. It was a Reynolds decision.
I don't really agree with that, but of course, Craig trying to put the ball down for a drag bunt. But I think you're better off just taking the pitch and hoping the ball's out of the strike zone. After all, you are 3 runs down.
Reynolds swings and misses on a breaking pitch for the first out. Now Davy Lopes will come to the plate. And the Mets are 2 outs away from winning the National League pennant. Mike Scott will not, unless there is a considerable miracle available to the Houston Astros, be pitching a 3rd time in a 7th game. Davy Lopes, the veteran, at 40, takes the pitch inside from Jesse for ball 1. Ball 2 inside. Large portion of the 45,000 plus that watched the game today are in the parking lot. Two and 1 on the called strike. Three and 1. Lopes making Orozco throwing strikes. Jesse's behind at 3 and 1. Bill Doran on deck. Ball 4. Lopes is aboard. Now Doran is at the plate with Hatcher coming to the on-deck circle. And the grinding goes on. Bottom of the 16th inning. The Astrodome in Houston. They played 12 innings in New York yesterday afternoon, with the Mets finally winning it 2-1. Doran hits it to left center field. Base hit. Dykstra hurries over, cuts it off. Lopes stops at second. The Astros are still alive. Now Orozco getting a conference on the mound with Hernandez, Carter, and Beckman. And Billy Hatcher, who hit the home run to tie in the bottom of the 14th inning, is waiting to come to the plate. It's Orozco's game to win, certainly, if he can get them. Tim McCarver has departed for the presentation of the MVP trophy. Corey McFerrin is waiting to go into the winner's clubhouse. And Hatcher steps in, representing the tying run. Ball is hit up the gap. It's in there for a base hit. Lopes turns third. He's coming to the plate to score. and it's 7-5 New York. Another conference at the mound, and now Davey Johnson, the manager, is calling a full conference at the mound. As you see the ball cut off by Dykstra, hurries it back in. They don't care much about the fact, at least at the moment, that Lopes scored. They've got one out, and Houston now has Hatcher on first base after that single, and he represents the tying run. Doug Sisk is back up throwing in the New York Mets bullpen. Big right-hander. And Denny Walling steps in to the batter's box. Glenn Davis is on deck. Winning run is at the plate in the person of Walling. Orozco throwing strikes, and the Astros are hitting those strikes here in the bottom of the 16th inning. Curveball, strike ball. Swing and a miss on a curveball. And it's 2 strikes on Denny Walling. 1 out. Roll to the right side. Hernandez has it. Goes to second. They get one there. And that's all. But that's the second out. They got Hatcher at second base. Well, we've got 1 out to go for the New York Mets in a 7-5 ball game. Bill Doran is now over at third base. Walling on at first on the fielder's choice. And here's the home run hitter. 31 big ones this year for Glenn Davis. Tim McCarver downstairs now. Caught up in the tension of the moment. And what a moment to have your home run hitter at the plate with the tying run on first base. Tim, have you got him under?
I certainly do, Keith.
All right. Well, here we go.
It's a lot quieter down here than it is up there.
Where are you?
I am in the clubhouse of the New York Mets.
All right. 2 out, the pitch to Davis. And a sinker. Strike 1 on Glenn. Orozco really turned that one over. Tying run is at first base. They need 2 to tie. 7-5. Davis hits it at center field. Dykstra coming late. Got a late start. Rush in front of him. And they are still alive. It is 7-6 as Doran scores from third. Now it is Kevin Bass's turn. If they were to make a pitching change here, they would turn Bass around. He would hit left-handed against Sisk if he were called. Bass's power side is the right side. And that's where he is against Orozco. And once again, Danny Darwin, and now Charlie Kerfeld is going to go down there too in the Houston bullpen, just in case. The miracle's going to come true for the Astros, and the pitch to the hands, and Bass swings and misses. Even the walls of the Mets clubhouse perspiring, right, Tim? Kerfeld is not throwing. It is Darwin loosening up, and Orozco almost threw that one to the backstop. Carter had to come out of the crouch quickly to flag it down. There are a lot of tired bodies on that playing field. One of them's out there on the mound trying to get another one at the plate. Orozco against Bass. The tying run is at second base. Danny Walling. Bass swings and misses. Same pitch, same place. And it's 1-2.
Keith, you're in a situation right now. I do not believe Orozco will waste any kind of fastball. I think he'll go right with the breaking ball. Again, a good play by Carter on the scoop. You're in a situation where the whole season depends on one pitch. And my guess is the breaking ball.
Here it comes. Just low. And Kevin Bass almost committed himself. It's 2-2. With 2 out, the tying run, Danny Walling at second base. The winning run at first base. Close. Breaking pitch hit right around the plate. And it's a full count, 3-2. Mike Scott, who watched the pitch the 7th game. Bob Nepper, who seemed to have this one in hand, wanted to have it get away from him in the 9th inning. 3-2 to Bass. Struck him out. Kevin Bass swinging strikes on 3 breaking balls, and the New York Mets have won the 1986 National League pennant. And Jesse Orozco becomes the first winner of 3 games in relief in postseason play. The losing pitcher will be Aurelio Lopez. And Bob Nepper can only watch the Mets celebration in the center of the field. When it seemed early on in the day that Bob was on his way to pitching a classic ball game, masterful in performance for 8 1/3 innings. And then the sky fell, and the Mets tied at 3-3. And then they went ahead 5-4. And Houston came back in the 14th inning to tie. And then the Mets came back to go ahead by winning the ball game with that 3-run outburst in the top of this inning. So the struggle is done. Sadness, disappointment, fatigue, you name an element, and it exists on one side or the other. It was Davy Johnson, 13 years in the major league. Davy Johnson in 1969 was the final out for the Baltimore Orioles when the Mets won the World Series. Hal Lanier, from a baseball family. His dad, Max Lanier, an outstanding left-hander in the 40s. Great job in putting this Houston ball club into the hunt when nobody thought they could be at the beginning of the season. But they won a club record 96 games. And they went 16 innings in game number 6 before they lost by a score of 7-6 to the New York Mets, the 1986 National League champions. Here's Tim McCarver.
Well, Keith, I feel that the mood in the clubhouse down here is one of exhaustion. I don't feel like the ball club is in the celebratory mood that I would think a club who just won the National League pennant should be in. And the reason for that is they're exhausted. The first 4 through the clubhouse, Darryl Strawberry, Keith Hernandez, even Davy Johnson, appeared to be totally exhausted. Things are whooping up right now. I think they're getting a second win. And we will try to have some folks up on the platform as soon as they get ready. The most tiring ball game that I have ever been a part of as a fan or as a player.
Well, Houston was in a championship series in 1980 with the Philadelphia Phillies for 5 games. It was memorable. It wore on and on and on. And finally, Philadelphia came from behind to win in the 5th game. In this one, though it only went 6 games, it will surely go down as one of the memorable contests in championship play. Well, they popped the champagne all right. And while they may whoop it up, I'll bet you it doesn't last long, because a struggle like this wears your nerves and your body down to the fine edge. And there is still work to be done, because the World Series is scheduled to open on Saturday. And in just a few minutes, the California Angels and the Boston Red Sox will have at it at Fenway Park in game number 7 to determine which American League team will be going to the World Series. Well, the champagne, the bubbly's in the air, and let's go now to Tim with Davy Johnson.
I am with the manager of the New York Mets, Davy Johnson. Davy, congratulations. Your perseverance, your patience with this young ball club paid off. You took over in 1984. You've increased every year, and this has got to be very, very satisfying for you.
Well, I sure am. I'm really proud of the guys. The day was a real tough day. We were down 3 runs. They fought back. We tied it in the 9th, and you know, it's hard to stay in the game when you're on the road, but they battled and played tough and came back and had the big inning. I'm just really proud of these guys.
You sound like you've lost your voice.
Yeah, I'm not a real good yeller, but I yelled quite a bit there for a while.
Have you ever seen a ball game like that? Not only in post-game play, and you played the 16-13 game in Atlanta last July 4th. Does that compare with this one?
No doubt about it. This one, you know, you're on the pins and needles to begin with because of the pressure of the game, but to go 15 innings or how many ever went, the guys to stay in there and really battle it, I'm proud of them, really.
Were you ever this happy as a player?
No, Timmy, because I got 24 guys that I feel a little bit responsible for, and to see them do what they just accomplished, it really makes me feel good.
Davy Johnson, the manager of the New York Mets. Congratulations, Davy.
Thanks a lot, Timmy.
Davy's going to get with the celebration here in the clubhouse. Now let's go back to Keith Jackson. Keith?
All right, Tim. Again, your final score is 7-6. The Mets win, but don't for a moment in any sense doubt the character and quality of this Houston ball club. It was 7-4 going into the bottom of the 16th inning, and they fought back and had the tying run at second base and the winning run on first base, and just missed. Again, Tim.
Keith, one of the key hits in the ball game, of course, the triple by Len Dykstra off of Bob Knepper. And the important thing about that hit, Lenny, a lot of big hits come with men on base. Yours, it seemed like it was an eye-opener for the Mets.
Well, I'll tell you what, Knepper was throwing a great ball game. He kept us stale the whole ball game, and, you know, the 9th inning got a spark, and that's all I think we need, to catch a little spark, catch a little fire, and we ignited from there, and it was, you know, a great win. It shows the character of the ball club all year.
In Game 3, you had a 2-run homer against Dave Smith, and you said that it was the first home run since your home run in Stratomatic. Have you had any other thrills other than Stratomatic that can compare with this?
I'll tell you what, this is the biggest. You know, my first real full year in the major leagues, and to come and win the pennant, and we're going to the World Series is it's been a total team effort, and that's why we're doing it, because of the team. We've had great pitching. We've just had great efforts by everyone, and that's what it takes to win.
Of course, you realize what you did today. You didn't start against a left-hander, but you pitch hit against a left-hander, and that left-hander had only allowed 3 base runners through the first 8 innings.
Well, Bob Knepper's real tough. He's a tough man on a left-hander, and Davey, you know, he's been using everyone. He keeps everyone sharp. He's been using Mitchell, so he brings me in late, and knowing that they don't have a left-hander in the bullpen, a real stopper left-hander in the bullpen, they're going to bring a right-hander in, so it plays into his hand. So I'm ready to get against the right-hander. So I think you know, left-handers, I can get on base, and fortunately, I was able to start something today.
Lenny Dykstra, one of the stars of the games for the New York Mets, as the Mets win 7-6. Let's go back to Keith Jackson. Keith?
This National League Championship Series has been brought to you on ABC by the Heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet. By Bud Light, everything else is just a light. By Bic, for normal or sensitive skin, an extraordinary shave at an extraordinary price. And by IBM, and the growing family of IBM personal computers. It takes a lot of people to do what has been done over the last few days. Our engineering people have done a job for us that we are proud of, and we'd like you to see their names, all those involved The production staff headed by our producer, Peter Lasser, directed by Craig Janoff. Our technical directors, Rich Gelber, John Fider, Chet Mazurik. Associate Director, Dick Buffington. Our feature producers, John McGinnis and Jimmy Roberts, and all those involved in it. We thank you, gentlemen. You're all pros. Jerry Klein, our research, and all of the young people who helped us in so many ways to bring you this exciting series. Once again, your final score, the New York Mets 7, the Houston Astros 6. We're going to come back here in a few moments for the MVP presentation, but that will be after Al Michaels and Jim Palmer and company get you started at Fenway Park in Boston. The American League Championship Series continuing. It's Game 7 between the California Angels, John Candelaria, the Boston Red Sox with Roger Clemens, to decide which American League team will meet the New York Mets in the 1986 World Series. Travel arrangements made through and promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. Nobody knows Hawaii like United. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.